Volgens die Navorsingsraad vir Menslike Wetenskappe sterf ongeveer 1000 kinders in Suid-Afrika jaarliks weens wanvoeding en 2,7 miljoen kinders onder die ouderdom van 6 leef in huishoudings sonder voedselsekerheid. Ek bespreek hierdie krisis nou met Dr. David Hymes. Dokter, welkom terug hier by Goeiemôre, good morning.
Baie dankie, Elsa.
Goed, kom ons begin met die korttermyn impak. Watter korttermyn impak sien dokters gewoonlik by kinders wat aan wanvoeding ly?
Ja, ek dink dis maar 'n ding wat ons miskien nie altyd voor op die uitkyk is. Ek dink die klein babatjies en goed word gereeld opgevolg by die klinieke. Jy weet dan praat ons van failure to thrive as hulle nie volgens hulle persentile van hulle gewig en hulle lengte en goed groei, dan moet 'n mens maar, jy weet, verdag wees van, jy weet, of ondervoeding of dan 'n ander probleem. En die groter kinders, soos ek sê, en dit is meestal kinders onder 5 wat 'n mens sien, kan dit maar baie geringe tekens wees, veral 'n bietjie van 'n moegheid of 'n tamheid. Die kind lyk partykeer prikkelbaar. 'n Mens sien partykeer 'n kind wat gereeld siek is, jy weet, of meer gereeld is wat 'n gewone kind sou wees, of dan, jy weet, dinge soos wonde wat baie stadig is om gesond te word.
Ja.
Dan moet 'n mens, jy weet, en dis maar baie keer die vroeë tekens van, is daar iets aan die gang hier?
Hoe kan so iets 'n kind se groei en ontwikkeling beïnvloed?
Ja, ek dink die konsep van wanvoeding is 'n redelike wye konsep. Op hierdie stadium, jy weet, word dit internasionaal verdeel in 4 tipes. Jy weet, ons praat van stunting in Engels, jy weet, of vertraagde groei in Afrikaans, en dit is, jy weet, tot en met, ek dink 27% van kinders onder die ouderdom van 5 in Suid-Afrika ly daaraan. So dis nog 'n redelike hoë persentasie. Die tweede groep is maar die wat ons noem wasting of vermorsing in Afrikaans, en dit gaan oor meestal dat volgens, jy weet, hulle gewig en lengte is dit nie op standaard nie. Dan kry jy 'n gewone derde groep van underweight of ondergewig, en dit obviously gaan net oor dat, jy weet, hulle volgens hulle lengte nie op die regte gewig is. En dan die laaste groep, interessant, wat 'n mens nie altyd aan dink nie, is dat jy weet, 'n oorgewig kind kan ook 'n wangevoed kind wees. En dit is net as gevolg van verkeerde kosse en goeders ook. So hulle identifiseer 'n oorgewig kind ook as 'n wangevoede kind. En daar is omtrent daai syfers lyk soos amper soos 13% van kinders onder 5 in Suid-Afrika.
Sjoe. En ek onthou ek het verlede jaar ook na hierdie spesifieke statistiek gekyk, en ek was ook nogal geskok geweest om te kyk wat die bevindings was. Maar so iets het ook nie net 'n korttermyn impak nie, maar dit kan ook langtermyn gesondheidsprobleme inhou indien wanvoeding nie vroeg behandel word nie.
Nee, verseker, ek dink dit beïnvloed die hele, jy weet, vermoë om die kind om intellektueel, fisies en emosioneel te groei oor 'n lang tyd. En jy weet, op so alle vlakke kan dit hulle beïnvloed. En jy weet, ek dink dat mense sien dan dinge soos bloedarmoede, mense sien, jy weet, gereelde siektes wat hulle kry as gevolg van immuniteit wat afneem. Later aan begin mense, jy weet, spierverlies kry. Mense kan dan in die meer ernstige vorme ook dan velveranderingkies kry, hare wat verlore raak of verander. En dan die meer erge graad van dinge is waar dit jou organe begin aantas, en dan begin 'n mens dan, jy weet, ander siektes kry soos cirrose van die lewer, en dan natuurlik, jy weet, die uiteinde as dit nie aangespreek word is maar, jy weet, 'n dood, ongelukkig. En dit is die statistiek wat 'n mens sien daar.
Net om daarbey aan te sluit, is daar enige ander spesifieke organe wat meer vatbaar is?
Dit tas die hele liggaam aan, maar ek dink op hierdie stadium die belangrikste sou wees hart, brein, en dan jou immuunstelsel natuurlik, en dan natuurlik, jy weet, al jou vitamine en minerale, so as 'n mens nou tekort het aan yster, dan obviously affekteer dit dan dat jy ystergebrek anemie kan kry of 'n bloedarmoede kan kry. 'n Mens kan skildklierprobleme opdoen as gevolg van 'n gebrek aan jodium in jou dieet. 'n Mens kan baie ander minerale en goeders, ook vitamine D. So dit kan alles verskillende siektes gee. Maar letterlik op die ou einde, dan tas dit jou spysverteringskanaal aan. Dit kan definitief ook dan jou lewe, jou niere, en op die ou einde is dit 'n multi-orgaan siekte.
Dr. Himes, altyd lekker om met jou te gesels. Baie dankie.
Dis 'n plesier.
Goed, dis duidelik 'n groot krisis met ernstige nagevolge. Gelukkig is daar wonderlike organisasies wat ingryp en Roseanne gesels nou met een van hulle.
Hi, I'm Yolanda Jones and I'm the Programs Director at Ladles of Love. And together with our in-field teams, we focus on providing food relief to the most vulnerable in our communities and proactively address food security.
Welcome to Yakalo.
The Nourish Our Children program provides under-resourced early childhood development centers in impoverished communities sufficient, nutritious food to serve the children 2 healthy meals a day. What do you think has been the result of poverty in the community where you serve?
When the children are hungry, they can't concentrate at school, of course.
Yeah.
And they drop out.
Once kids have access to nutritious food on the regular, do you see a difference in them?
Yes, I do. Because a happy stomach
Yeah.
is a happy child.
Yeah, yeah.
And a happy child,
Yeah.
is the child focuses at school.
Yeah.
It's a healthy brain.
At Ladles of Love, we believe you cannot educate a hungry child. So, we lead with food. And the difference this makes in their holistic development is monitored and measured. And in line with our findings, we support the center with nutritional plans, training, and mentorship. And the positive results are staggering. After all, these are our leaders, the future of our nation.
Ladles of Love is an organisation active in the Western Cape, Northern Cape and Gauteng, and over the past 10 years they've provided more than 44 million nourishing meals to vulnerable children and people in need. I'm joined now by their founder and CEO, Danielle De Liberto. Danielle, welcome to Goeiemorgen. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Danielle, can you tell us how Ladles of Love actually got started?
It was back in 2014. I was introduced to an ancient Sanskrit word, seva, spelled S-E-V-A. And seva means giving of yourself, wanting absolutely nothing in return, not even the joy of giving. And this was very inspirational for me. And on the same day, I had an interaction with a homeless man. And being in the restaurant industry at the time, I call them godly conversations. I was inspired to start a soup kitchen. And so on a chilly Tuesday evening in July 2014, I served my very first soup kitchen outside my restaurant in the heart of the mother city.
Wow, so it's been over 11 years of actually making a difference in the community. And you actually take that further with initiatives like Feed the Soil, which leads into that whole issue of sustainability and teaching people how to grow their own food.
Yes, so Feed the Soil is a beautiful program that supports our community farmers. And what's also wonderful about it is because we try and create route to market for the farmers, we purchase their vegetables as well, which we then provide to our children in the ECD. So we're ensuring that these children get to eat a whole variety of beautiful vegetables, which are grown the way God has intended. So, yeah, I'm very proud of that program, I have to say.
Danny, how do you decide which organizations are going to be beneficiaries?
Well, the way we do it now, during COVID, we were just taking on anyone. It was a crisis, and whoever we were recommended, and we just went with it. Today, now, we look more at how many ECDs we have in an area. We then obviously target the areas that have less ECDs. We don't really worry whether they're registered or not, because it's normally the ones that are not registered that desperately need help because they get zero help from anyone. And so we go and vet them. It's all through, we've got a list of, I can't even tell you, an endless list of ECDs that have reached out to us asking for help. So we will choose an area We will then go and vet them. We'll go and see their ECD. We'll see what the condition of it. Are they maybe using a proper educational plan? What is their kitchen setup like? And how dire is it? And then we'll look at all that, and then we'll make a decision whether we can onboard them or not.
Volunteers are the lifeblood of an organization like yours. How can people get involved, especially our viewers?
Well, go onto our website, ladlesoflove.org.za, click on the Get Involved page, and there you'll see that's mainly for our soup kitchen. We have our own soup kitchen. Homelessness has remained the heart of the organization. So our kitchen continues in the city, and we run 4 soup kitchens a week. We also do a lot of cooking in our kitchen, so we always need volunteers who can help there. We also look for interns that want to work in our warehouse. There's a lot of admin work, with our monitoring and evaluation. There's a lot of reporting that needs to be audited and checked. We have our accounting department, our warehouse, where we move in around 15 tons of food a week. So you can also email info@ladlesoflove.org.za. Tell us what you're looking for, and we'll see how we can get you involved.
A well-oiled machine. Thank you, Danny, for everything that you and Ladles of Love do to help the community. That's Danny Diliberto from Ladies of Love. Now, we call Elsa our resident dictionary. But up next, I'm going to find out how I measure up against a national spelling bee champion. They are here to talk about what it all entails to be the champion of a spelling bee. That's coming up next. You're watching Goeiemorgen, good morning. Stay tuned and be just where you are.